In the Dallas hospital parking lot, my mother-in-law Patricia snatched my baby seat and check. Then Sheriff Cole arrived with a sealed file and asked, "Patricia, who were you hiding this from?" Patricia didn't slap me in the Dallas hospital parking lot. She did something worse. She tore my newborn's car seat from my shaking hands, slipped his $184,000 trust check into her purse, and told the discharge nurse, "Claire is not mentally safe to leave with this baby." I was still wearing my hospital bracelet. My son Noah was asleep against my chest. My husband Mason stood 10 feet away, holding my car keys like he had already chosen a side. Then Sheriff Daniel Cole stepped out from behind his cruiser with a sealed county file and said, "Patricia, why is a dead woman's signature on this custody form?" For the first time since I married into the Whitmore family, my mother-in-law stopped smiling. "My name is Claire Whitmore." Until that morning, Patricia believed I was weak because I was quiet. She mistook my patience for fear, my manners for surrender, and my silence for permission. But my father had raised me differently. He used to say, "Never argue with someone who is already building the evidence against themselves." So when Patricia came at me in the parking lot outside Baylor University Medical Center, I did not scream. I watched. I had just been discharged after 3 exhausting days. Noah had been born early and there had been complications. I was sore, dizzy, and running on almost no sleep. Mason had promised to pull the car around, but he had been gone for 20 minutes. Then Patricia arrived in her silver Mercedes, dressed like she was walking into a charity luncheon. Cream suit, pearl earrings, sunglasses, perfect hair. She looked at me holding my baby and said, "You look unstable." Not tired. Not recovering. Unstable. She reached down and grabbed the car seat carrier beside my feet. I tightened my grip. "Patricia, stop." She leaned close. "Mason called me. He agrees this baby needs to be somewhere safe." My eyes moved to Mason. He did not look at me. Then Patricia noticed the envelope sticking out of my diaper bag. She snatched it before I could react. Inside was a cashier's check from my father's estate trust. It was not spending money. It was not a gift for Mason. It was a protected medical and education fund for Noah, with me listed as the sole trustee until he turned 25. Patricia read the check and whispered, "So this is why you refused to let us help." I said, "Give it back." She folded it once and placed it inside her purse. Then she looked at the nurse beside me and said, "See? She is emotional and financially reckless. I have already filed the emergency paperwork." That was when my stomach went cold. Because 2 nights earlier, while I was recovering in my hospital room, a nurse named Rachel had quietly closed the door and said, "Claire, your mother-in-law asked our legal desk how to remove a newborn from a mother's care." At first I thought Rachel had misunderstood. Then she showed me the visitor log. Patricia had visited hospital administration while I was asleep. And Mason had signed her in. Be honest. If your husband stood there silently while his mother tried to take your baby, would you forgive him? I did not know the full plan then. I only knew enough to call my father's attorney. By sunrise he had called Sheriff Cole. And by the time Patricia reached for Noah's discharge envelope inside the car seat pocket, Sheriff Cole was already crossing the parking lot with the sealed file. Patricia turned when she heard his voice. "Mrs. Whitmore," he said, calm and firm. "Hand the envelope back to Claire." Patricia laughed once. "This is a private family matter." "No," he said. "It became a county matter when someone filed a temporary guardianship request using a forged maternal consent form." Mason dropped his keys. They hit the pavement with a sound I still remember. Sheriff Cole opened the file. "Filed yesterday at 4:16 p.m. requesting emergency transfer of custody for newborn Noah Whitmore to Patricia Elaine Whitmore. The form claims Claire Whitmore voluntarily surrendered custody due to emotional instability." Patricia's face went pale, but she still tried to recover. "That is exactly what happened," she said. Sheriff Cole looked at me. "Claire, were you in any county office at 4:16 p.m. yesterday?" I held up my wrist. Hospital bracelet. Time-stamped medication logs. Recovery notes. Nurse records. "No," I said. "I was in bed." Sheriff Cole nodded. "Correct. Baylor records confirm she was under medical supervision at that exact time." Then he turned another page. "And the witness signature is the real problem." Patricia's lips parted. Sheriff Cole read the name out loud. Helen Rowe. My breath caught. Helen had been Patricia's housekeeper for 12 years. Sweet woman. Silver hair. Always smelled like lavender soap. She had passed away 9 months earlier. Sheriff Cole looked directly at Patricia. Why is a dead woman's name on your custody filing? No one moved. Not Mason. Not the nurse. Not even Patricia. Then she made the mistake that saved me months in court. She turned to Mason and snapped, "You told me they would not check that fast." There was not an accusation. Not a rumor. A confession. Mason whispered, "Mom, stop talking." But it was too late. Sheriff Cole closed the file halfway. "Mr. Whitmore, did you provide information used in this filing?" Mason looked at me for the first time all morning. And I saw it. Not love. Not regret. Fear. Patricia suddenly reached into her purse and tried to pull out the check but not to return it. She crumpled the corner in her fist like destroying paper could erase intent. Sheriff Cole stepped closer. "Do not damage that document." Slowly she handed it over. He passed it to me. Then he gave me another sealed envelope. "This is from the probate court," he said. "Your father amended the trust 6 weeks before his death." My hands trembled as I opened it. The clause was simple. If Mason Whitmore, Patricia Whitmore, or any member of the Whitmore family attempted to interfere with my custody, housing, medical authority, or trustee status, all access and inheritance privileges connected to my father's estate would be permanently revoked. My father had seen this coming. He had watched Patricia correct me at dinners. He had heard Mason call me dramatic. He had noticed every small insult I tried to hide. He never fought Patricia in public. He protected me in writing. Patricia stared at the page. "That money belongs to my grandson." I held Noah closer. "Exactly. That is why you will never touch it." Then came the second twist. A woman stepped out from behind Mason. Blonde. Shaking. Wearing his old university sweatshirt. Her name was Ashley Bell. For months, Mason had told her we were separated. He told her I was unstable. He told her the baby might not even stay with me. Patricia had promised Ashley that once I was removed, Mason would finally be free. But Ashley had found my number the night before. She had sent me screenshots. Every message. Every plan. Every lie. Sheriff Cole turned to Mason. "Your wife gave us those messages this morning." Mason sat down on the curb like his legs had stopped working. "What would hurt more to you? The stolen check, the forged custody form, or realizing your own husband helped build the lie?" Patricia tried one last time. "She is manipulating everyone," she said. "Look at her. She has not even cried." I finally looked her in the eye. "No," I said. "I cried when I realized my son needed protection from his own family. I am done crying in front of you." Sheriff Cole asked Patricia to come with him for questioning. He did not shout. He did not threaten. He did not need to. The parking lot had already become her courtroom. Mason reached for me. "Claire, please. We can fix this." I looked at his empty hands. No apology. No courage. No protection. "You already fixed it," I said. "You showed me exactly who you are." Then Sheriff Cole handed me my car keys. That was the final twist. Mason had not gone inside to bring the car around. He had gone inside to hide my keys. But my father's attorney had already transferred the vehicle title into my name the night before discharge. The spare key was documented, sealed, and delivered with the court notice. I buckled Noah into his car seat myself. My hands were shaking, but they were steady enough for that. Before I drove away, Patricia looked at me from beside the sheriff's cruiser. For the first time, she did not look powerful. She looked small. 6 months later, Mason signed the divorce papers without a fight. Patricia was removed from 2 charity boards after the filings became public record. Noah's trust stayed protected. Ashley became a witness, not a mistress. And I moved into a small house in Highland Park with sunlight in the nursery and locks only I controlled. Inside my father's final letter, one sentence was underlined. "Claire, calm women are often mistaken for helpless women. Let them make that mistake." So I did. Patricia came to that hospital to take my son, my money, and my name as his mother. But she left in a sheriff's car. Mason left with divorce papers. And I left with Noah, the keys, and the one thing they never understood. A quiet mother is still a mother with teeth. Never mistake a woman's silence for weakness. Sometimes she is not quiet because she is scared. Sometimes she is quiet because the truth is already on its way, sealed, signed, and impossible to bury. If you believe a mother's calm can be more powerful than anyone's cruelty, like this story, comment "Mother's Justice" and subscribe for the next story where the truth hits even harder.